Hey guys, in this week's video we are going to strap a GoPro to my forehead and we're going to try to take this thing around the block. Let's do it. Alright, I got my new GoPro Hero 5 whatever Black Edition strapped to my forehead, so hopefully it looks alright. I updated from my old GoPro. I had this Hero 3 and it's kind of potato quality, so I never really used it very much. So hopefully this one will allow me to get some cooler, you know, working on stuff, shots and time lapses and that kind of stuff without being you know, a huge drop down from the quality of my normal camera. So we're going to try to take this thing for a test ride. Still waiting on my clips for the emblems. I had 2 for the other side, but I'm still missing the 2 for this side. Those are on the way, but everything else should be relatively squared away. I kind of gave the bike full once over, make sure everything's tight, make sure everything's, you know, not leaking all over the place, and everything seems to be doing well. I rebuilt my petcock, so that's not leaking anymore. Got some gas in the tank. I mean, theoretically it should be ready to test ride. You know, we'll keep a tally of all the things I'm going to put on a list that I am going to have to sort out and fix, because as you know, with most, you know, first test rides, you're going to discover things that are wrong that you didn't realize. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and see how she'll fire up on a cold start. Let me just double check the amount of gas in here. Seems like an amount of gas, so that's good enough for me. Gonna see if we can't cold start this thing. Turn our petcock on. Why doesn't my choke move? That's cool. I bet it's interfering with one of these pod filters, isn't it? Let's see. See? That's what I'm talking about. The kind of stuff you have to figure out as you go. Yeah, I'm gonna need to move the clamp for this pod filter, so I'll bring you guys back after I do that. We're back. Now I can actually put my choke on. Let's try this again. Alright, turn this switch, turn the bike on, neutral light's working. Let's hit the button. Oh yeah. Backfire. Not super happy, but we'll see how she does. overall, as you probably saw from the video, first ride, not terrible. Not particularly great either, but not terrible. Few things. I need to adjust the cam chain tensioner. It sounded like that was having a little bit of noise. So I need to do that. Main thing is when I give it more than about a quarter throttle, the clutch is slipping. So what I'm going to need to do is, I'm thinking my linkage here, since that's not the factory cable, I don't believe. I have to look. I think my cable might just be pulling it a little bit currently, not letting it go all the way down. So it's not letting it engage all the way. Hopefully that's it. If not, I may need to put a new clutch in it. So I'm gonna try that. Look into adjusting it. It's been a while since I've done that. So I'm gonna look into that too. And if that's the case, I can do a how-to video on how to do that. I know I've done it on my old bike, but it's been a couple years. So I'm gonna look into that too, because the clutch is slipping. So first thing I'm gonna do is check the actual cable, linkage itself, see if I can adjust it, adjust the cam chain tensioner, and then go out and drive it again and see if it does the same thing. Other than that, I am going to go ahead and sync these carbs just for good measure. It's running pretty good, but it's not running exactly as well as I want it to. So it's close. I mean, it's not dying or anything, but it is kind of sputtering a little bit and stuff. So yep, this is exactly why we test ride the bike, so we can make this kind of checklist and start to run through it. So I'm going to get to looking at this clutch, and I'll let you know what I find. Okay guys, I just took it around the block again to see if adjusting the clutch worked, and it did, so that's awesome. How you adjust the clutch is, you can adjust the linkage itself, or I should say the cable itself. That's really just to get the right amount of pull and like kind of free play in the lever itself. What I'm talking about is the actual clutch internally, and that's what this little adjuster is for down here. So what you do is, this is a 10mm lock nut with a flathead kind of bolt in the middle of it. So you just, what I do is take a skinny flathead, put it on there, 10mm box end wrench, undo it, and then what you do is unscrew this flathead counterclockwise, just like you would unscrew anything else. So all the way counterclockwise until it stops, and then do a quarter of a turn clockwise, then tighten the lock nut. So what that did is totally cured my clutch slipping problem. Hopefully you'll be able to tell in that GoPro video when it was slipping. You can tell when I was trying to get on it a little bit, the RPMs were going up, but obviously without being on the bike, you probably couldn't tell. It wasn't really accelerating like it was supposed to, but you can probably tell when hearing the bike that it was slipping. It should be pretty obvious, but that's exactly how you do it, and that totally cured it. I just went out and romped on it a little bit, and it's no longer slipping at all, so that's awesome. As far as the cam chain tensioner, I had forgotten that it's a little bit more complicated on the CB550s than it is on like the 350s. So I'm actually going to do a how-to video right now on that, and there's a good possibility that you guys will actually see the how-to video before this video, just because I'm trying to get on this normal schedule of like Wednesdays I want to do a how-to video, and then either Saturday or Sunday do like an overall project video. And I don't have a how-to video currently for this Wednesday. Today is Tuesday, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to make a how-to video on how to adjust the cam chain tensioner on a CB550, but you again probably already know that because you already watched that video a couple of days ago. So cool, I'm going to go ahead and get to work on that. Once that's done, I'll bring you guys back and we will try to figure out what else is going on with the bike. The neutral light went out. The weird thing is, I actually just replaced the LED in that neutral light off camera because it stopped working, and I was like, oh, I already showed how to wire it in I don't need to show how to replace it, or that doesn't, you know, it doesn't really apply to most people. And I replaced it and it was working fine, and now it's actually out again. So I don't know if like that circuit is somehow blowing the LED, or I really have no idea. But if I can't figure that out, I might have to swap back to an incandescent bulb, like a factory style setup, like just for the neutral light. Everything else works perfectly. I mean, you'll see I turn the key on, oil light works, high beam light works, signal works, but the bike's in neutral right now and nothing. I got nothing in there, not even like a faint light. So kind of at a loss for what to do with that. I hate to have to go back to a incandescent bulb, but at this point, you know, I'd rather it work and with an incandescent bulb than obviously not work with an LED. So we'll have to figure that out, but I'll bring you guys back when I have another update. Just wrapped up the cam chain tensioner video, probably the one you guys have already seen. I put it out on Wednesday. So what I want to do to the bike now is I got to figure out where I'm going to mount the mirrors. So these are the mirrors I got, same exact mirrors I ran on my last bike. They have the option to go into the end of the fork or into the handlebars and tighten up in there, which would require me cutting the ends of the grips out. Or you can take out this, you know, silver part here and just clamp it around the handlebar somewhere. So I'm going to mess around with it and see if there's a clean place for me to clamp it on the handlebar that doesn't look like some big Dumbo ears and doesn't contact the tank, and of course is also useful where you can actually see behind you. So yeah, that's on the to-do list for now. I also need to make a license plate mount. What I normally do is just make a little 90-degree mount and mount it off the bottom shock bolt. So it'll probably mount up somewhere, you know, if you did probably right around here vertically. And here in Texas, I've not had any issues whatsoever with a vertical tag. I've ran it on quite a few bikes. So that's the plan. I'm probably just going to take some angle iron and cut it up, and I'll kind of show you what I come up with for that. One thing I wanted to show you guys, I've been using these really crappy, cheap, I'm not even going to call them safety glasses. They're literally just like clear lens, like plastic glasses I got off Amazon. And the issue with these is stuff always like flies in the side, and I mean, short of like something coming straight at your eye, these are kind of useless. So this company called Those Once Loyal, I'll put the link in the description. I'll throw the website up on the screen right now. This is their logo. They kind of saw that and they just came out with these new safety glasses that have these screens built in on the side. So they have the same cool like vintage style look that I want, but they're actually somewhat, you know, actually significantly more useful because they have the screens on the side and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and give these a shot tonight too, while I use my little tabletop bandsaw to cut out my license plate bracket. Well, there she is, nice and easy. So I ended up using, hopefully you could see from that time lapse I did, but a 16 gauge piece of sheet metal. Basically marked the holes where the license plate mount, you know, I guess marked the holes where the actual holes in the license plate are so I could get that measurement correct. Then put it up against here and kind of did a mock-up of how far out I wanted it to stick. Ended up being 3 inches in my case, so then I measured 3 inches out, so that tab is 2 inches long, then the 1 inch thick piece. So I'm still going to paint it black, but just to give you guys an idea, it's just a quick, you know, L bracket that I then bent a 90 into, and it's plenty strong enough being, you know, a 16 gauge piece of metal. And it, as you can see, just a nice clean mount, you know, nothing crazy to it, and it'll be there nicely and should be pretty much legal, I believe. Like I said, I haven't really had any issues with vertical plates in that location before, so don't quote me on that. You won't get a ticket for it, but I have had good luck with it so far. Alright guys, sorry if this video is a little sporadic. Like I said, I filmed that cam chain tensioner video in the middle, and I've forgotten what I said in the first part, but to kind of recap what's going on, I am totally done with this bike officially as of right this moment. I've been test riding it for the last couple of days. You guys obviously saw earlier in this video the first test ride. I adjusted the clutch, that's fixed. I've been doing cold starts on it every day to make sure that, you know, the cold start is nice. It's not dying off or sputtering or stalling or anything like that. The exhaust needed to be tightened just a little bit after I rode it, and it kind of got hot and contracted again, and then got hot, and so I tightened that up. And basically the last couple of days have just been some fine tuning of the bike. But I mean, overall I think it turned out pretty awesome. It turned out way better than I expected, honestly. When I first chose these bars and decided to build a bike with them, I was a little bit hesitant because I'm like very fond of the clip-on look, but this is so much more comfortable than the clip-ons were on my last bike. I mean, you can obviously see that these would be, if they were clip-ons, they'd be down here, and you're a good 6 to 8 inches lower, which means you're a lot more hunched over riding the bike, and it really kills your wrists. And if anybody's ridden these cafe bikes for a good amount of time, if you're not like in the right position, your hands can fall asleep. And so this bike is really comfortable to ride between the tough side seat and the seating position. More upright, kind of dual sport style seating position is awesome. So I'm really happy with how the exhaust turned out. I did get my tank clips in for this side, so my emblem is now properly installed. Those tank clips are actually kind of hard to find. I ended up finding a guy on eBay. I don't know how many he had, so I don't think it'll be worth putting the link in the description just in case they're not there anymore. You can just kind of search for them, but they were a lot harder to find than I thought. You guys obviously saw the license plate bracket. That's painted and done now. Working really well. Lube the chain. I do need to just kind of clean off the engine itself. It's still got a little bit of metal chips and kind of dust and dirt and stuff in there, so I need to just give the bike a final kind of wash. But then pretty much going to be time to list it for sale, which I know for a lot of my new subscribers is going to be surprising, because a lot of people build bikes on YouTube that they keep them for a while, but I do kind of flip these bikes and build them with the intent on selling them, mainly because I use that money to support the channel and build more projects, and I feel like it's more exciting for you guys if I have a new bike to work on, as opposed to, oh, I'm doing some more scheduled maintenance on the same bike you've seen for months. You know what I mean? So I kind of, just for the channel's sake, like to keep things fresh and keep new bikes coming in and out. So yeah, that's probably going to be the last you guys will see of this 550. I may do another ride video. I might keep it for a couple weeks. I don't know. I haven't really played around with it too much, and I do want to kind of get a little bit of enjoyment out of it. But let me know what you guys think about the build overall. Let me know what you would have done differently, what you really like about it. Yeah, everything. I'm pretty excited to move on to the next project, which you might be able to see is pushed out away from the wall finally. I put the CX500 and the CB360 in storage on the side of my house, just because I'm not going to get to them anytime soon. You guys know from watching the channel. If you don't know, the CX500 I actually am selling to a buddy of mine, so hopefully we will be building it on the channel when he's ready to do it. Then my CB360, I don't have a title for it, and that bike needs a lot of work, and I just don't think it'll be worth it from a flip standpoint. Those bikes don't really sell for big money, so putting a huge amount of work into it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know why I'm still pointing over here. There's no bikes over there. So yeah, this is going to be the next project, which a lot of you guys have been bugging me and really curious on when I'm going to start it. I'm literally going to start working on it today or tomorrow, so it'll be next week when you guys will see the first video on it. But if you don't know what this bike is, it's a 73 Triumph Bonneville. It's a T140V. V meaning it's a 5-speed transmission. The bike is in perfectly good running working condition right now, but I am going to be chopping the back half of the bike off and replacing it with this David Bird hardtail frame. So, and that is a lot more of a project and a lot bigger deal than anything else I've done so far. So I've done quite a few of these CB550 frame chops, but I mean, we're talking about chopping off 6 inches of the frame. This is literally chopping off from this kind of backbone piece right here. Literally everything behind that will be gone and replaced with that piece over there. So I've been collecting parts for this for a while, and I can obviously go into more detail when we actually do those videos, but I got kind of new motor mounts, and I need to get a Springer seat, and it's going to need new tires and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's the next project, and that is officially going to be underway here in the next couple of hours most likely, but you guys will see it next week. So that's going to be it for this video and this build ultimately. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned if you guys want to watch me build this bad boy.